Alright, I got one more box of eBay crap came in here over the holidays. The guy didn't ship it for a couple weeks. So it's a set of gas tanks, but when they come in something like this, that's not how you want your gas tanks to sound when you get them. So the guy obviously, I just threw him in a box. I doubt if there's any padding at all in there. Look at how much damage is done. Some people just don't care about the parts that they sell you for big bucks. Oh, ain't that sweet. Okay, so what kind of a moron would ship something like this? So we got a piece of paper in here. I'm not sure what that's supposed to do. Lights off. There you go. Obviously it doesn't do much for protection. You can see all the bang marks in the box where they've been bouncing all over the place. So, yeah. Wonderful. But being good Harley metal, old tanks, didn't really do any damage to them, surprisingly. I'm shocked. Yeah. Looks like they made it without doing more damage than they already had. That's nice. I'm really shocked though. I figured there'd be some nice big dents in them things. Alright, so these are Harley tanks. Don't know what year because everything's been cut off of them. So there's not too much rust in there, is there? Not too bad. Pretty heavy. Probably more than just metal. It's probably Bondo and crap all over them, I bet. Anyway, they did some customization down here at the bottom for a petcock, which is not the best. We're looking for things that are going to be rough, like these here. It's been a big patch put in here. I did not see that on the video, otherwise I wouldn't have bought it. Of course, I'm figuring this tank was trash anyway, but I might have still bought it. I did buy it, so there you go. What do I know? They're not too awful rusty in there, so it shouldn't be rusted through. Alright. So this is supposed to have a screw-in petcock, which means there'd be a hole up in here too that's been filled. Don't know, don't feel anything there, but I know it's bonded up. You can tell it's got a lot of Bondo by all the radius through here. There's a lot of Bondo on this tank. So then you look on the inside and see if you can see any massive dents in there. Not too much. So I see two stud holes in there, which are here and here. Those are where the shift gates went. So that means these are hand shift tanks. So I don't know how much Bondo's on here, but 57 and 8, there's a big round badge here. 59 and 60, they have an arrow shaped badge in here. And then 61 and 2, they got a star badge on here. And then 62 to 64, there's just a strip right here. And you go backwards, 56 on back. 47 to 50, they have a big wide strip right here with a curve on the end. Then in 50, they went to, or 51, they went to a single strip that just said Harley Davidson, and then the next year they put the bar under it. And that's 53, and then 54, they put a little bit bigger badge on it, but it still had just the holes in there for mounting it. So those are all your different tanks. The basic shape of tank's all the same, it's just what they added to it. The foot shift tanks did not have the holes in there for the hand shift, and they would have had a big bracket well on here for the pivot point. That's all missing. So I figured these were 60s tanks, but they still might be, but they were hand shift because they got the bungs in there. So I'll have to see what's in there, but I figured on my 57 drag bike I could take this tank and use it and just put a modern petcock in here so I get some flow. At least it's a Harley tank, but it's just not the right one. But that's the only reason I bought this one. I figured this tank over here would have been the good one anyway. Pretty much I was only buying this one tank. Everything else is extra. So this one here looks like it's got the stock well in here, no damage, because they break into here and start leaking. All of this stuff looks good. The brackets are still good. These look original. So this tank was a good tank as far as I could tell. It's just was missing the badge. This has got a lot of Bond on it again because it's all raised in here. This one has a little bit more rust in it, but not too awful bad, but it's a little heavier. But it didn't rust through like the last one I bought was. So if this tank is good, I'm alright. If that tank is good, it's a plus. But this tank, pretty much without buying, I didn't pay a lot for these. So hopefully this is a usable tank after I strip all the crap off of it. And the early tanks, the way you tell them is that there's no vent tube across here going across. That came out in '67. So these tanks all look the same. From 64 on back is the same shape. 65 and 66 are a bigger tank. On the 5-gallon tank, the 3.5 is the same. And they had different petcocks they used on those. This here would have the shut-off valve on it, no matter what. Which is a hole right here that had a knob that had a big long rod that went down to the bottom. So there's no vent here because both caps are vented. They both take the same low cap. And they have the vent holes. See the vent holes right there? So they vented. So they both vented. It takes the same cap on both sides. In 65, they put a tall cap over here on this side, and there's no vent, so when it's on a kickstand, it didn't leak fuel out of it. Because when you had this high, the tank was all the way full, and you put it on a kickstand, the fuel from this side would go on this side, fill it up, and leak out the top. So people learn how just don't fill their tanks up, and didn't have a problem. But, anyway, that's how they did that. And then on this side over here, on the bottom, they actually have a screw-in fitting down here and not a push-on hose. And that's how you tell it's original tank also. So you always look for this on the bottom. And look for no vent tube up here. And that denotes a Harley gas tank. At least for a panhead on back. So there you go. We'll have to see how rusty this is, but all of this Bondo's got to come off. So luckily it didn't damage anything. See, this is some of the marks from shipping here. Being Harley metal, they're pretty thick. So didn't damage it too bad. Like I said, this abortion down here I knew was going to be bad, so just didn't know how bad it was. I have no idea what they welded in there. Looks like a big bung fitting, but who knows. Alright, there you go. Turned out better than I thought they would, surprisingly. Anyway, these are 3.5 gallons, so they're narrow. And that's what they look like when you get them like that. Alright, there you go.